Hi, thank you for stopping by. My name is Landon Marina. I am a single mom and trying to assist and get awareness to others regarding the mindset needed to survive. Not only survive, but thrive. We live in a day and age where things are constantly being considered as upgrading, like let's say an Apple or an iPhone, and how they continue to upgrade, right? And we think, wow, what a world we live in. All we have to do is click a button and this can occur. But because we're so used to clicking a button and making things happen quickly, that when it takes time to put into ourselves as people, to put into our children, those things take a lot of time and intuitiveness, that pushing a button or living a fast-paced lifestyle can keep you from understanding how to maneuver. And so here I am. I come from a background, I've been a single mom for over 10 years, and I went through depression, anxiety, PTSD. These are all things I've experienced and will experience at times. I flash back and think, okay, you need to take a moment and breathe. Okay, it's happening right now. You've experienced this feeling before, and you are acting in a way that is different from the way of happiness that you have found for yourself to be. I want to give you that ability. The ability to have a safe space where you can realize you are not alone in this. You are not alone in feeling miserable at times, in feeling exhausted, stretched too thin, burnt out. If nothing else, exhaustion is something that is something we can all relate to after 2020, correct? And hopefully it lets us see a need that we have, or an understanding, an awareness, because awareness is something we need in order to fulfill or be filled with the things we need to be happy. So let's get to it. Something we all are aware of and are familiar with as moms is the comparison situation. So let's say you're a mom, and even a stay-at-home married mom, right? Even a stay-at-home married mom has competition with other mothers, with other men. And that's something that I think is creating a trigger response, even in something as simple as someone saying, "How are you doing today?" For example, I was trying to get a poll. I've done this multiple times on social media, trying to say, which one of you are exhausted? Anybody exhausted here? I'm exhausted. And do you know what those responses were? Those responses, the ones that I get the first, the quickest, the fastest responses I get from that, right? Before I get the courageous responses, the ones that say, "I'm struggling, girl. Girl, I hear you. I'm tired. I don't know what's wrong with me, but this is not working." And by the way, nothing's wrong with you. Not anything that you don't have the tools, the ability to fix, right? But I understand what you mean. You're exhausted and you don't understand why. I get it. That's why I am creating this channel, because I was at a time really exhausted and didn't know why. But I digress. My point is, the first people that want to say something to a mama, especially when you say, "Are you tired? Are you, ooh, I'm struggling." They want to say, "I'm not struggling at all. I'm having a good time. I love my life. Me and my kids are happy." And I think, okay, good. That's great. I was asking for people who might need some assistance. I was asking to let my other homegirls know, we right here. We right here. I see you. You know what I'm saying? So why did you feel the need to then come in that space of safety that I was providing for someone else who might not be doing all that great? Why did you feel the need to come and comment on that post? I'll tell you why. I'll venture to tell you why. To assume. I'm making an assumption here. This is a theory. Now, I keep testing this theory, and it hasn't failed me yet. But it's still, some people would say that's a theory. When someone quickly wants to tell you how great they're doing, in a time they see that you're saying you might not be doing that great, they're not doing great either. And if sometimes I've noticed they don't even realize they're not doing great. They are trying to convince themselves so much that they are doing great that while they're trying to convince you, they are also trying to convince themselves. And this is what I don't mean to say that there aren't mothers who are happy out there. I understand happiness as a mom now. I get it. I know how to find it. I know what I was lacking when I didn't have it. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video a little bit. But I just want you to know that don't be fooled. And please be quickly aware when someone is so quick to tell you about how great they're doing when you don't seem like you're doing great. Red flag, run, walk the other way, roll your eyes, or consider it as confirmation that you ain't alone. Because when you want to tell me how great you're doing when I am clearly not and cannot reciprocate those same feelings to you, what are you gaining by telling me that? Nothing. You're a bully. You're a bully. So I don't want you to be mystified by what has happened for so long. I think about the commercials, the 1940s and 50s with a housewife and how great she was doing and how she's supposed to just take care of the house all day and cook and clean, and that's all she lived for. That's what she wanted to do, is to stand by her man and her children, and she was great. That's all she worried about. That's all she worried about in the commercials written by men. That's all she worried about. And that created it right there. I mean, that wasn't, I can't say created. That continued the creation because it came way before then. But you get to see where women want to be so strong. And we think that if we're having the problem, if we're struggling at all, if we're tired, if we don't have butterflies in our stomach when we see our children, that something must be wrong with us. I used to believe that, like, something is wrong with me. What kind of a mother doesn't see her child and light up? I've done that. Is it that child's fault? No. And fortunately, I knew that. But there are mothers who do not know that. They don't know. They don't know that there are chemical imbalances happening. Possibly. Check with your doctor. Talk to them. And if that doctor doesn't seem very they're not valuing what you're saying, they're not taking it seriously, we need to find another doctor. We need to look at some reviews of other doctors where women have been able to give you this kind of advice, as far as, oh, I went to this one and this is what they did for me. They listened to me. Go to a doctor that's going to listen to you. I realize this is going off a little bit from what I had intended, or maybe not. My intent is always to just be real, because it's a difficult thing to do, so you don't get to see people doing it that often. And as a mother, as a mom who becomes a single mom, there's something I really missed out on for myself and for my child. And I want you to be able to learn from it yourself, because even if you've also made these things, I consider, I hate to say mistake because I think we learn from everything and everything is a stepping stone. If you've made this, I feel like it's a misstep for me when I think about it. And that is, matter of fact, I'm just going to look at my journal here and I'm going to see if I might even read it off what I said. I often think of my child and how much I love her, how much I would do for her, how much of my life I did everything trying to make sure she had what she needed from me. And that's what I meant to do, right? As a mom. I believe in that still. She didn't ask to be here, right? And therefore, the best I can do is make her experience, make sure she feels seen and heard. Unfortunately, even though I thought I was doing that, even though I thought that was important to always have, I didn't do it in the best way at all times. And some of that is because a lot of that I will say is because I didn't allow myself to be seen and heard by me and to be cared for. As soon as people get out of a relationship, it seems, especially these days. I don't know, I'm an 80s baby. So growing up, I searched for sitcoms and things like that, TV, where women were vulnerable and showed their feelings and went through breakups and things like that. And I remember there would be a breakup period, they would go through things, grieve. They didn't go straight to another guy. That changed, I noticed, in the entertainment system, in the entertainment field, as the decades have went on. And now it seems everyone says, oh, well, if you want to get over somebody, you need to get under somebody. What? No. That's a problem. So I say that to say, when you get out of a relationship that wasn't serving you well, and it's not serving you well, they're gone, right? So when you get out of a relationship that's not serving you well, it's so quick, it's so easy to go into a new one. And when you want to get out of a relationship, the question is, do I want to get right into the same one I got into, except with a new person? Because what was the end result of that last relationship? It ended, right? So if you don't recalibrate yourself, if you don't look at your gas tank, because that takes a lot out of you, the breakup, the mourning of what you thought could have been, that takes a lot out of us. And oftentimes what we do is we just dismiss it. We don't sit in it. We don't want to sit in it because we feel like that will, maybe we can't handle if we sit in it. Maybe we'll fall apart. Maybe we will stay depressed and never get back up. I think we fear so much. I know I did. Fear that if I sit in that, well, I won't be able to function. I won't be able to parent. What will I do? And it's not true. And it took me years of missing, truly being present with my child and seeing where she needed help and advancement, seeing where I wasn't meeting her needs possibly the way that I could have if my gas tank would have been filled, but it wasn't. When you get in a breakup, as I did, and then you don't go to fill up your gas tank, but you go and put some cheap, basically sugar water in your gas tank by going on to a new relationship or going out and continuing on with life without even addressing the breakup in a healthy manner, whatever that is for you, then it's like filling your tank up with sugar water. And we all know that you put sugar in the gas tank, it's gonna mess up that car, right? However, that can also be fixed. There's 3 things that we need for ourselves and for our children to be fully present with them and to be able to experience that joy and happiness that can be lost when we don't have a full tank of gas, so to speak. And we need to be able to be observant. We need observation. We need to be motivated to observe, motivation, and we need to be persistent. And that persistence can that is like a three things you need to continue and to try to find what's best for you in filling up your tank and what's best for your child. Because what happens is, because our tanks aren't filled up, we aren't observing our children quite like we could, and things, they slip through the cracks as far as things we could have noticed, but maybe we labeled it as, oh, they're just acting out, or oh, it's just quote unquote bad behavior, but really it was a need for our attention, and we missed it because we're so hurt ourselves and wounded ourselves, we're not quite getting it. Anytime you're a little off emotionally and you're not mending that need, can you be fully present emotionally for somebody else? I mean, just think about that. I think about if a physician was working on me, or a doctor, but meanwhile he's got a broken leg and trying to handle my pain, like how would that work? How focused, how good could the treatment really be for me? And so the same thing is with us as people, but especially as moms. We often don't know that that's like really important to take care of ourselves and make sure that our tanks are filled. And then we go straight into dating because we're like trying to fill the tank up, but dating someone else before dating yourself is a problem because it's sugar water. It's gas and sugar in your tank, and it ain't the right kind. Because guess what dating also takes? Dating takes observation, motivation, and persistence to see how the other person is going to fulfill your needs, how you can fulfill their needs, what they need, letting them know what you need. And the thing that happens often is we get into another relationship as single moms, we're already really busy, right? So we get into another relationship, our tanks aren't filled. So we don't even know what we need because we never met the needs of that tank. And now we are dating someone who also has a tank to fill. And you know what we're going to do? We are used to trying to fill other people's tanks. We do filling everybody's tank, but we ain't filled ours. We think that filling their tank is somehow going to help us with our tank. And it ain't. It ain't. And we get upset because the relationship ain't working out, or we get in an abusive relationship, we end up marrying them, whatever. It's like, we put ourselves in a hostage situation almost. Like, you can't be fully competent and present and aware and observant of the person you're dating as a mom, so busy, who hasn't taken care of herself, hasn't dated herself, doesn't really know what she's needing. She's kind of just blindly just hoping this person will fulfill it. And then that's how we end up going down this road again. Getting with people who are not worthy because they can't fill our tanks. That's my main point, is just realizing that you might have to take a step back. It might be time to reconsider. Like, did I go through the proper things to fill my tank? And what does my tank consist of to be filled? What's yours? For me, I need to make sure I'm having fun, right? So that means in dating and outside of dating, I need to know how to have fun by myself. I need to know how to have fun with my child. These are things that are very important to me because it motivates me. It keeps me persistent, coming back for more. And it also helps me to be aware or observant when I'm not having enough fun, or when I can try to make something fun for me. Because I'm neurodivergent, as far as I have ADHD, and it really hit high gear when PTSD came. So, but that's been, I got that about 5 years ago, I guess, a little bit over 5 years really. But that being said, I have to figure out different ways for things to work for me. And so that's what I want to give to you. I just want you to think about, what do you do to fill your tank? And a filled tank looks like peace by yourself. It looks like a happy time by yourself. It looks like you know how to meet your emotional needs. It looks like you know when you're sad and you know how to deal with that, other than overeating, over drinking, over anything, just taking something versus doing something to help that. Maybe you just need to sit in it. I know I do. And I'll set a timer. I say, oh, I'm going to be sad from, oh, today's feels like a sad day. I'm going to be sad for the rest of the day, and this is how I'm going to handle it. And I can, write out my list of what to do. Are any of these things that resonate with you? Does anything I'm saying kind of makes you think, maybe? Definitely. Tell me what fills up your tank. What are you doing right for yourself that you like? Because oftentimes we forget what our tanks need, and that's actually just life, because your tank should always be changing. Your tank doesn't get filled the same way all the time as a person, and that's something that you'll need to do if you want to be there for your children, which I know you do. I know that you love them, and oftentimes when we have a low tank, it makes us feel like we're less than, or we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing for our children, and that comes from that feeling that we're not fully present, and we aren't, because we're exhausted, and it's understandable. And you will fix that with awareness. The first step is being able to say, yeah, I need to refill my tank. So we'll definitely talk about more about that. Tell me some things you do that help you fill up your tank. And thank you so much for stopping by. Please, I loved hearing from you. I really appreciate your comments. I think it's beautiful. And I think you are too. I think anyone who can look inside themselves and come back and try to be aware of what might be going on, or always searching for something better in themselves to bring out, that's a beautiful mom. That's a woman I'd want to be my mother. And I have one. I have a beautiful mother. Which, it's priceless, ladies. Ladies, you're priceless. If you're a mom always trying to do better because you realize that your children feed off you, you realize that they are there looking to you for direction, for hope, for support yourself first, because that's how it works. They do more off of what they see versus what they hear. And so take that time off. Say, mommy's having mommy time to figure this out, to journal, to listen to some music. Okay? Don't forget to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, ladies.